JT Love Industries, JazzHandz, proudly sponsors Cool Lad, our proud mascot. Good afternoon and welcome back to JazzHandz podcast. This is episode 5, and I will be interviewing one of Spectrum's other players, performed players. He arrived just around the same time I came, but he's a delight to be with us. We get along well, and it's great having him on the show. Um, so yeah, this week's guest will be the amazing, well performed Tom Allmark. Hey Tom, how's it going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Not too bad. Welcome to Jazz
Sorry
Hands.
about that.
As you're made you aware, we're here to interview about your time at Spectrum and stuff. How's it been for you in this nice cold weather? Have you done much?
Um, to be honest, I was working on the Friday. I did go to like a Steam Railway gala after work. Despite the weather, I got through. I've actually been quite keeping busy, but not really enjoying the cold.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hate
not
the
the biggest
snow.
fan of snow.
Yeah, I've been cooped up in here because roads near me because I live in the cul-de-sac, so that's
Oh, right.
why I've had a bit of um bad luck with transport. I've even had to order my shopping in, so it's kind of been a little it's kind of been a blizzard for the past couple of days.
It's been ridiculous. I'm sure it was starting to snow again about an hour ago. I hope we don't get any more.
Yeah. Well, it said to me it was going to be sleet and then it was going to be rain, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I'm guessing that's why Spectrum will cancel on Wednesday.
Was it? I didn't know about that. I didn't turn up anyway, but
Yeah, I think Andy sent us a message that it was going to be cancelled because in case people weren't going to wreck it or people weren't going to get back home.
oh,
Okay, without further ado, question one, what is your title? That's
my title.
Spectrum. Yeah.
Just Tom. That's what they call me.
Cool.
Usually give me a nickname like that.
What role have you played so far? Because I know you've attended the first two, haven't you? So yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Well, the very first one I did was in someone else's shoes, wasn't it? I was a game show host in that.
yes, you were.
Um, yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I was a game show host, and I suppose I was playing myself. You know, the kind of narrators that you had, sort of doing
Yeah,
the sort of commentary bits in between. Um, but those were kind of I was kind of myself and game show host in that. Then Sanctuary. That's fair. I've never really played a direct character. I've always seemed to. I seem to be the storyteller. There we go. That seems to be my main title, really.
oh wow. What role have you played at Spectrum for last year's show?
Last year, wow. Again, I was one of the storytellers, singers. I guess we're kind of. Yeah, we're narrators again, basically. I got to wear that awesome jazzy. I should have worn it today, actually. My rainbow tracksuit thing that Andy let me keep. That was our
Wow,
costume. Yeah, I've got him in wardrobe somewhere. You know,
you
I
had a
didn't know it was
great
going to be
performance.
kind of him.
Yeah.
But that was my last.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you want to explain you want to explain to the viewers about yourself, how you connected to here, how you connected to what made you want to join this community, that sort of thing.
Oh yes, wow. I've been very in and out of the theatre scene. It's definitely been in my one of my top interests for quite a long time. I was uh, always mad keen on playing pretend. I'd always do dress up. That's the thing. Kids used to do it in school, like to do voices and yeah, voice acting is probably what started it mainly. But as a kid, I'd always take it very seriously compared to the others. I was always very strict on stage direction and costume from as long as I can remember. I've always loved playing pretend. I think it was bound to take over eventually. And yeah, eventually at school, I got a bit of a knack. Well, I did it for GCSEs by secondary. I think the very first like professional role I remember doing. When I say professional, it was the first play I remember doing it properly was Christmas Carol when I played one of the charity collectors. You know, the two gentlemen that meet Scrooge in the first act, collecting money basically. Uh, we were known as the portly gentleman in the scripts. I was actually quite skinny at the time. That all kind of kick-started it, and then but then I kind of got into music. See, I've always loved to sing. I think singing and performance. I'm quite shy when I'm off stage, but when I do like to dance and sort of show off to an audience when I get the chance. Well, I say show off. That sounds arrogant. Um, I enjoy being up there. I'm always in my element when I'm presenting myself to people. I suppose I just find it a good load of fun. Um, and yeah, it took over. I went to university, got a degree in the end. I've not really done it as much for a career since, but well, actually that's not entirely true. I've had the odd job in between. My last big sort of acting role was probably when I lived in York, and I was a tour guide on one of the ghost tours. It was on an old Route Master bus, York Ghost Bus Tour. It was pretty exciting. Basically a moving traveling show. But then eventually, yeah, I had to give that up, and yeah, I moved back to Sheffield. And how long had I been away from Sheffield for? Probably a good 4 years at least. And I thought, well, I just searched up theatre groups. I didn't really have much. There wasn't really much acting jobs going, but I thought I want to basically keep the craft going, find basically a community I could join and still basically keep it going. And Spectrum it just popped up in my Google results, and I thought, wow, I read all about it. I liked what they were going for. I liked their message. I've got autism. I thought it'd be nice to meet some more of my own kind of people, really, and connect. And that's exactly what's happened, really. It was best choice I made of 2021, I'd say.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, I
Just what
mean,
we need.
because I've always wanted to do a lot of voiceovers. So I've been doing my one man show. It's been running for the past year and a bit. I'm down to my second show, which is going to be in August. So yeah, I've got some invitations that I'd like to bring in when snow clears up and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, next Wednesday, hopefully. Fantastic.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that, but I've gotten over it. I'm hoping to see what we've got planned this summer. I mean, there was supposed to be two shows, but I don't know how we're going to get round to doing both. But because I've only opted for one of
Yeah,
them.
I'm not sure what he's got up his sleeve, but we'll just have
Yeah,
to part of the fun, all part of the fun.
yeah. So for the future and stuff, because we've got this Christmas play coming up.
Oh
I
yeah,
wanted
Christmas
to
Carol.
go from that.
What are my thoughts on it? Oh, excited. I'm excited because this sound. Well, that's like I say, I've done Christmas Carol before. Ours was the one I did was the traditional Dickensian sort of. There was no twist or anything. It was all pretty much. We kept it traditional, but from what Andy's got planned, apparently they've done it before. You see, I don't know. I hadn't joined by then. You've only just joined as well, haven't you? So yeah, apparently they've done it before, but this one's going to be. Apparently it's set in Sheffield.
Modern
That's
take.
Yeah, quite a modern take by the sounds of it. So I want to see what they've got in store. I hear it's going to be a musical, so that's even more of a win for me.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
definitely
it's not. It's
yeah.
nothing like the Muppets Christmas Carol or the Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol in
Well,
1983.
the Muppets one, and I've not actually seen the Mickey Mouse one, but the Muppets one's a favourite of mine.
Yeah, I do
Definitely a favourite.
recommend you if you're a Scrooge McDuck fan, because the late Alan Young, he voiced. That was the first time I've heard him as Scrooge. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he did it quite. He played Scrooge McDuck for a while, didn't he?
yeah,
So I know
Alan
about
Young
that.
before he passed away in 2016.
Yeah.
And
Good
then,
age.
and then we had John Christian, he took over in the Mickey Mouse show, and David Tennant, who you may know as Doctor Who, he was
Yeah.
in the DuckTales reboot.
Well, he actually is Scottish as well. The original Scrooge McDuck was from like Newcastle, I read. So David Tennant's the real deal. They got an actual Scot this time.
Mm, yeah. What are your hobbies outside of Spectrum, if you don't
Oh,
mind?
outside
Yeah.
section. Oh no, not at all. I'm mad on trains. Absolutely mad on trains. I might have given that away a few times. But when I'm not performing on stage or singing at the top of my voice, I'm usually working on a railway engine somewhere, usually in Wales, or I go to a local one up in Leeds as well, the Middleton Railway it's called.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I'm basically training to become a driver one day, but that's going to take
Okay.
years. At the moment, I turn up, basically polish the railway trains engines early in the morning, get them steamed up for the day. That's a big passion of mine. Like I say, I just went to a steam gala on yesterday, actually, in the snow. That's how mad keen I am on them. I risked the weather to get there. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
well,
mad.
trains have been a bit of part of my childhood too. I mean, Thomas the Tank Engine is the most famous one there.
Yes,
If
it
you're a
is.
Polar Express fan, even though I'm not really a fan of Polar Express, but if you're a Polar Express fan, I'm sure you've watched it every Christmas time. Or if you remember the one from Hogwarts, or the
Oh, well,
Talyllyn
yeah.
Railway,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Talyllyn Railway, which you may know
The
Scarlow in.
Tower Flynn, that's where I volunteer. That's the second. That's one I go to in Wales actually, and I'll be going there next week. You know the Tower Flynn then?
Yeah, well, one of my friends from my one of my colleagues, who's also a staff member. Um,
Hmm.
he's into trains.
Oh,
You'll probably see him at some point when I invite him to our next Spectrum show.
oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah, because he's part of the A team and he knows a couple of Spectrum players. He knows Samuel and that. So and yeah, he's into trains. He's into any steam trains.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of train. I've got a lot of train fanatics in my
So
friend group. So yeah,
you get the madness at least, and it's quite a niche hobby. But once you get
when
into
it
it, it's
comes
like,
to me, I just film. I usually go when I've not got anything planned. I usually go to the station or Gunny Station to film some of the diesel engines. But rumor has it that the Class 66s have been the longest serving diesel engines for freight, like Freightliner and what's that red one called? Um, yeah. 'Cause I used to go to Doncaster twice, 3 times a year to go to do some train filming. So
well, it's a good place to
yeah,
go for your diesels, that's for sure.
yeah. I mean, Doncaster Station's been one of the longer known. Yeah, 'cause one of my friends were talking about Henry and Gordon. Now, apparently, Henry's a stolen idea from the same builder who built Gordon.
Yeah, that's right, Doncaster. So Gresley kind of design. It
Yeah,
was kind of Henry. So Henry's actually he was rebuilt into a Black Five, a bit like the engines I saw yesterday, actually. So an LMS design. So rebuilt at Crewe, but his design they say was basically stolen from the um, design for the A3's Gordon's type, which was Doncaster. It's basically a LNER Eastern region sort of design. So he was a knockoff essentially, which explained his poor steaming issues. That basically they'd stolen the blueprints, but they hadn't kicked out the bugs, and that's why he was quite a poorly, very mechanically flawed engine, like the first couple of bugs. The reality basically being that the illustrator kept drawing him inconsistently, which really irritated the Reverend Audrey. That's the best part about the Thomas stories. It all started with Thomas for me as well, because the author was a railway enthusiast and he was a stickler for detail. You can tell from like they did start off as basic railway stories. He was just writing for his son, so they evolved. They started off as very not very childlike, but quite innocent. But you could tell even then that he knew his stuff on railways compared to other fictional trains out there. Thomas stories are they're all basically nearly every engine's based on a real engine. Most of the stories are will be somewhat inspired by something that's happened in real life, i.e., maybe a crash or, God, I'm trying to think of some of the most outlandish stories in Thomas. Percy crashing into a suitcase full of trousers, that and jam, that's happened in real life apparently. One way or another, it'll all happen before. And that's the charm of them, really. They're very idyllic, nice, good escapism, but they are actually very real at the same time. That's what I love about them.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot going on that, there's the essence of how, for example, Bill and Ben were based on real twins,
Yeah, that's right.
and
Even bizarre little engines like that are real.
yeah, and Donald and Douglas were based on real life Scottish twins, and we knew
Mm-hmm.
that Daisy. Oh, diesel rail car, but I forgot what her chassis was, but yeah, because
Ah,
he'll know about it because we discussed it a few months ago. But
mm.
yeah, there's a lot of childhood stories. Michelangelis has been one of the greater narrators since Ringo
Yeah.
Starr's departure. But I've been adding been having a hint of George Carlin's US version and Alec
Not
Baldwin's
so much.
US version. Apparently, Alec Baldwin was depressed due to him basing a split from Alec Baldwin. That's why Donald
Mm.
and Douglas didn't sound correctly in the
Oh, there's
US
all
dub.
kinds of basically like like the season five was his first one. That was just before the split, I think. You can
Yeah,
tell he's got
season
no effort
six.
there.
Yeah,
Season
yeah.
six was split, and you can tell like he just doesn't care at that point.
Of course, well, Michelangelo's did a better job in the UK dub
Much better.
because I know Keith Wiggum, who is the US Fat Controller, which apparently now nobody calls him Fat Control anymore due to
Yeah, political correctness
yeah,
is finally stuck over to the UK.
yeah.
Pretty much
Apparently,
so.
they've renamed him Stuff'em Hat, which
Yeah,
is his real name. So I think Stuff'em Hat would work better. So, like, for example, um, in Middle Engine, where Harry and Bert had a Cockney accent in both dubs, but when Percy's depressed, when Sir Topham Hatt, you know, interrupts
mm,
Percy that he will work in the yard or that it's against the rules to wait on the tipper's loading ramp. Percy feels depressed when Michelangelo's narrates as Percy, but when Alec Baldwin does it, he isn't really sad at all, really. He's just, you
no,
know, not that bothered. Recently, I've lost one of my family members, which I'm going through a bit of a bad time, but I'm okay. I seem to be a bit more cheery. Yeah, questions. More questions for you. What are your goals for this year? That's what I've been meaning to ask you.
what's that?
What are your goals for this year?
My goals. Let me think. I'm going to take some time out for myself. I'm hopefully going to spend a month at the Tarquin Railway in June, so get some much needed relaxation. Uh, get some more money in, so keep working. My job at the moment is full time, exhausting, but it is paying well. So keep sticking through with that, persevering, and just enjoy life, I suppose. Mate, spend time with friends and enjoy life to the extreme. Really, I think.
Ain't no
So
wrong with a bit of self-care.
yeah, more or less self care, self love, and just being compulsive. I think sort of taking opportunities that come my way.
Yeah,
Essentially,
well, one of my goals is to just get some more side projects done, practice my voices, and then, well, I know we're not gonna. I promise this time to learn to get over my stage fright is to not ad lib. Unless it's a practice, then I could ad lib whenever I wanted. But if it's something important, that we've got to stick to the line so that we don't, because when I had stage fright, I almost lost half of my lines. But I got better at it during the Thursday session because my mum and sister were there. They were both proud of me. Last Christmas, they were both proud of me.
you've
It
done
was the
really
first
well.
time. Yeah, it was the best, one of the best achievements out of my life. better
Yeah,
than my short film that I did for my student film that I did. So, but yeah, I mean, everyone gets through bad stuff, but we all work out. It turns out okay in the end. That sort of
that's how it
thing.
always goes with shows. It's just once you get up on that stage, it's a different sort of feeling, really.
Yeah,
It just
I mean,
clicks.
yeah, I mean, it go. I mean, at first you don't succeed, but you know, stick to itiveness is what
Oh yeah,
brings that popular attitude. I mean, attitude has changed from moody to positive, but negativity, yeah. So, an important question, because I always ask this question: if you had a celebrity favorite or voice actor favorite,
mm.
whomever, who would you want to meet and why? That's what I, yeah, because
Celebrity or voice actor,
yeah, anyone.
anyone. Well, out of all the voiceover people, that's the thing that I find myself more and more interested in those sort of guys these days. I would love to meet Frank Welker.
Yeah, he's doing good for 77 though. I mean,
He's doing really good.
yeah, I mean, he's the same age as a lot of celebrities that I know. He's the same age as Ed O'Neill. He's the same age as Haley Mills, the legendary Haley Mills, and
Of course,
Sandy Duncan, of course.
Chief
Um,
Towns. Of
yeah, I
course.
mean, Grada Lyle's done a great range. I've presumably known her in a Cartoon Network roles than any other role. So I've known her as
I did
Mandy
a
from
lot of
Billy and
like
Mandy.
Very Odd Parents, that sort of thing. So mainly Nickelodeon shows, I think.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, because I've known her from her Cartoon Network show. So Mandy from Billy and Mandy, Lizzie from Kids Next Door, Frankie from Foster's Home,
yeah, I love
just
Foster's.
to name a few. And yeah, because there was a lot of voice actors from the 2000s era. Candy Milo, if you remember her. You may know her as Dexter from Dexter's Lab and the latest
Ah,
series,
yeah, yeah. And I've watched a
where
lot
she
of Dexter.
replaced Christine Kavanagh. That's it.
But I know Justin has been doing a lot recently. He's been doing a lot of Johnny Bravo impersonations because that's his most famous role. Apparently, he's been doing a lot of Disney roles such as Mr. Smee from the
Oh
Peter
yeah,
Pan.
Jack Bennett. No,
Yeah,
he's done a lot more.
he does a great Bill Thompson impression, and that's what you know. And Corey Burton's been doing so much. Well, he's been with Captain Hook for over 30 years now, and Von Drake over 30 odd years. Well, over yeah, because I know he was in his early 20s when he replaced Hans Conried. But yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot of research on Catherine Beaumont, who you may know as Alice from Alice in Wonderland. But
Mm.
yeah, have you heard of
I didn't realize he was so young when he took over though. The Corey Burton, did you say?
yeah, Corey Burton, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I
Hans
didn't.
Conried was one of the legends alongside June Foray, Giles Butler, Don Messick, Janet Waldo, Gene Vanderbilt, Henry Corden, to name a few. I mean, Mel Blanc was at the top of his peak when he did all them Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah. People don't. My dad still doesn't believe me when I say they're all voiced, pretty much all voiced by the same person.
Well, that's the thing with Mel Blanc. He was one of the
Yeah.
most recognizable because before him there was Pinto Colvig and Jack Mercer, who you may know as Popeye,
Oh yeah.
and before Maurice LaMarche and Billy West took over. But I know technically Maurice LaMarche, his impression when it's not his natural voice is Orson Welles because we were discussing
Ah.
this when he does the brain and Calculon from Futurama. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah. No,
I mean, there's a lot going around where Billy West has been doing Fry, Leela's always got kids as well, but Fry, Zoidberg, Professor Falsworth, and Richard Horvitz, who you may know as Billy, Invader Zim, and you remember the Angry Beavers?
I never heard of that. I don't think. Angry
Yeah,
Beavers.
well, that was Richard Horvitz's voice. But Invader Zim, you might recognize it. That was a Nickelodeon show from the 2000s. It came out the same time Billy and Mandy came out. So yeah,
What was it called again?
Invader Zim.
It is him. Oh yeah, no, I know the name somewhere. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean Richard Horvitz is one is up there. I mean they're even doing a Futurama reboot this year, so they're reviving. I think Tress McNeil's going to leave Daisy Duck and just focus on Simpsons and Futurama. So I've heard.
Oh.
But she has been voiced aside from voicing Mom on Futurama, Mrs. Skinner, and what's her name now? Lindsay Nagel, is it from Simpsons, amongst other Simpsons characters. We know And apparently, Kevin Michael Richardson took over Harry Shearer from The Simpsons in its later years when during the Black Lives Matter
Ah, yeah, that's
campaign,
right.
because we know Arif Zaire took over Mark Henry as Cleveland. But
Yeah, that's right. He
yeah,
started off on YouTube, didn't I? read about that. He was an impersonator to begin
yeah.
with.
Well, that's
Right.
how we start off because Alex Desir, who you may know as Carl from The Simpsons, he was already an actor anyway, so
Mm.
they just went with him. But Arif Zair was just a YouTuber. He's actually about 20 something years younger than Mike Henry. So at least someone young is taking over the role as opposed to
Yeah,
Kevin
absolutely.
Richardson.
Someone fresh. Whereas, yeah, the one in The Simpsons, I've heard him in quite a few things. I'm sure he's been in American Dad, all sorts. He's
Yes, Kevin Michael Richardson.
That's him. Yeah, he's got a very distinctive voice. One of the best ones.
I mean, there's a lot going round that we've had to deal with. I mean, voice actor community, because the thing is, Hans Conried, hands down, will be the best Captain Hook. I'm not, but what's your opinion on the Peter Pan reboot that comes out this year? Because,
Peter Pan, Wendy.
yeah,
I'm not that. I'm just fed up with these reboots and Disney live action remakes, whatever.
yeah. Thing
I'm
is,
just
they've ruined a bit of my childhood too, though, because they've already Tim Burton. I'm not even going to say about Alice in Wonderland, but the way I think Helena Bonham Carter could have been cast in something much better than the Queen of Hearts or Fairy Godmother. I think
just a bit
thing is,
too.
I know there's a lot of controversy at the moment with Family Guy, with Disney, with The Simpsons, most having jokes. I mean, Bart has done one of the appropriate most is like kind of, I mean, but yeah, I mean, if you had to pick your favorite
Oh, the
movie,
movie. Oh God, this is. I've got so many. Ooh, that's a hard one. My ultimate favorite, if I had to choose. I've seen so many. Hmm. Well, my favorite, actually, no, I do. I know. Beauty and the Beast.
wow, to be honest, that's my sister's favorite movie. She apparently
Yeah.
likes both this movie, the original, and the Emma Watson version. But I mean, what
I
it
like
is
the
with
Emma
Disney,
Watson one at the time.
yeah. But I think what it is, Disney just needs to. I know they're trying. If they want to make something modern and for a modern audience, just stick to something original animated. I mean, there's
Exactly.
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the classic movies. They could have edited out some of the stuff, but there's controversy been going on everywhere. I mean, for example, they've managed to find for Peter Pan and Wendy, they've managed to actually hire a Native American to do Tiger Lily in the Peter Pan
Ah,
reboot.
that's good. That's
So
good.
at least they're able to do that. But I think what it is, reboots are just trying to make them for a modern world. I mean, it's a modern world and we're all living in it, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, there's so much I've been meaning to ask. Will Disney do something that we've never even watched before, or will this do something that isn't part of the controversy that will,
That's the problem. We
you
say
know,
we're living in a modern world, but how can we can't really help looking back at the past if they're going to keep doing these rehashes, are they? And
I
they're
mean,
cashing in on
yeah,
nostalgia.
I mean, what we're doing in All Change is if I put this correctly, I think if you remember Alice telling people about how you know how things have changed in the past 30 odd years or so. I think Alice told us about what happened earlier, about how we could make things better. I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
But
me too. Me too.
yeah, I think what it is, we've got to make sure that we accept LGBTQ, which I don't mind because I'm getting used to it myself. It's just taking me a bit out of, because I'm only 25, so I'll be 26 this summer, but it's going to take me a long time to learn what a part of the what fits in the modern world, what doesn't fit in the modern world, what actually makes a better story. Because thing is, for my comics that I do, I try and keep some of the, retro elements in to make it sure that it's set so it doesn't make it too modern. Because thing is, I want things to be modern. I don't want it to be too offensive, but like most of my projects that I do are PG rated, but some will be like, for example, PG-13. That's as far as I'll go. We're even thinking about doing an R-rated comic for selling for sale. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on that we could do better. I mean, I'd like to see how Andy will let this turn out, and I hope it'll turn out great for how
It work
things have
well
been,
when done properly.
yeah.
Definitely.
Because the thing is, that's what they're there for. So I don't mind hearing what other people have to say for accepting that
Yeah,
they're non-binary, accepting that they're, bisexual and stuff like that. I'd like to learn about that a bit more because thing
I
is,
think there's a lot of people there and like with interesting stories to tell us in that group.
yeah,
But yeah, we'll
I
learn
mean, I
more.
mean, I mean,
Take
it's,
time
I mean, it's
to talk
world
about
international worlds and stuff. So yeah, I mean, for example, me being patient with people is one thing because I, for one, but for example, Song of the South is actually racist, and
it. Yeah,
I don't blame Disney Plus for adding that on, even if it was, classic at the time, even though I'm black myself, so I understand how things have been racist, but Make My Music, which is another Disney favorite. I only like the Peter and the Wolf and Willie the Opposite Whale. The package films, they could do so much better in that. I mean, for example, Ichabod, I like the Wind and the Willows
ah,
section.
you
So
mean with
that's
Madam
why,
Mr. Toad? I think they're
yeah, I
fantastic.
mean, the Wind and the Willows was actually the best, was actually the better segment of the
Yeah, I was never that keen on the Ichabod one. You know what's
yeah.
bizarre? So normally like that, basically that and Mr. Toad were both conjoined, weren't they? When I was a kid, I had a video that had this Donald Duck segment to begin with about maths. I think it was one of the older Donald Duck cartoons to do with maths and education.
Oh,
Then the
Donald in Math Magic Lands, that's
That's
it.
the one. Yeah, yeah. Then Sleepy Hollow came afterwards. For some reason, those were both put together. I
Yeah,
didn't have
well,
to.
yeah. How it worked off is Fun and Fancy Free was originally titled as two funny characters, well, hilarious characters. So originally, Wind and the Willows were going to be teamed up with Mickey and the Beanstalk, but
Oh,
for reasons unknown, Bongo was paired with that movie instead as a package film. And that was what came Fun and Fancy Free. But
what's
Mickey and the Beanstalk was actually the better segment out of all the entire movie.
oh
But
yeah,
yeah, I mean Disney has were great at their time. I mean they've done a great adventure stories. I mean it was after World War II, so Saludos Amigos was the first of their package movies. But
that's the
out
one.
of all of them, I think Saludos Amigos was supposed to have Pluto and the Armadillo, which ended up being a standalone short. And then The Pelican and the Snipe was supposed to be released with the Three Caballeros, but then that was supposed to be released on its own. But then when they got back into feature films, Cinderella made a great appearance, which
That was written down
but
quite
yeah,
well.
I mean, there's a lot going on, which is great. So yeah, I mean, so much we'd like to hear. So I'm hoping the stories will be told from Spectrum the way, in their own point of view.
Mm. I think, like I say, they've all got there's quite a few there that have a lot to say that maybe haven't had much of the chance yet, and this is the perfect opportunity for it. I think.
Of course. Final question. If you had, if you wanted to tell young Tom something, what would you say to him?
Let me think. What did I tell him? All sorts. um, Probably be patient and give people a chance. I want to say.
Of course. And to wrap this up, that's all we
Mhm.
have time for. Thanks for coming to Jazz Hands, Tom. It was great
Oh,
having
you're
you on.
welcome. Good.
I'm
I'm
sorry
glad we
about
got
the
this.
books. I will edit this out as soon as I can. But
Hey,
I
that's
hope to, but I hope to see you soon, and I hope to get this edited onto YouTube so viewers will be able to watch it. You take care now, and I shall see you soon.
I'll see you on Wednesday, mate. You take care. Good fun
Bye.
talking. See ya.